Hello, my dear viewers and followers. Today I am going to talk about a beautiful subject. It is a great topic that hopefully will lead to big changes in your life. It has been recognized for a long time in the world and in Turkey. I have also made detailed investigations and practices on this subject myself and have got good results. So I want everyone to benefit from this method. So what is Ho'oponopono method? It is a Hawaiian word for righting wrongs, replacing negatives with positives. Please watch second and third videos and learn how to apply this method and enjoy peace. It means to correct one's whole life by correcting the negative memories in the subconscious mind. The founder of the teaching is a Hawaiian lady healer named Morna Simeona. Dr. Halakala Hugh Len is a psychologist with a PhD from the University of Loa. He worked as a specialized psychologist at Hawaii State Hospital for 4 years. His daughter develops a skin disease. First, he looked for a solution in modern medicine. After a lot of medicines, creams, doctors, but no results, he took his daughter to the healer Morna Simeona. She senses something good in Dr. Hugh Len and starts to tell him her teachings. But Dr. Hevlin is not interested in any of this. He says it's all crazy nonsense. He doesn't want to listen and doesn't want to go again. But he sees that his daughter is getting better. His inner voice tells him to go, so you will learn a lot there. You should definitely go. He listens to this inner voice and he goes. He learns everything to be learned about Ho'oponopono from her. Dr. Hugh Len works in a state hospital where they treat critically ill mental health patients who are also very violent and aggressive. He works on the files of his patients without ever seeing the patients, without doing one-on-one therapy. This is a very interesting point. Hugh Len says that when you want to change anything in your life, there is only one place to look, for yourself. And then to see how he himself created the illnesses of these people and how they got those diseases. He first looked inside himself to understand these things. This is a very interesting situation. I know you may find it difficult to understand these things. As he developed and purified himself, his patients improved. Joe Vitale is the person who spread this method all over the world. He explains it to the whole world in his book, Zero Limit, and this book has been translated into many languages. This method allows us to understand what the other person is going through. It teaches us how to perceive it as our responsibility as soon as we hear it, as soon as we learn about it, and to purify ourselves and purify the other person. So it's a way of purifying and cleansing not only people but animals, plants, nature, our environment, everything. In other words, it purifies all known or unknown negative energies by replacing them with positive ones. And for that, he uses love. It has 4 basic patterns. I love you, thank you, I am sorry, forgive me. And the order in which these sentences can be interchanged is not very important. The important thing is to repeat these 4 sentences. In practice, this is very easy and gives results in a very short time. I practiced them myself and got really good results, and that's why I wanted to share them with you. The first time you hear this story, maybe it sounds like an urban legend to you at first. Or, as Dr. Hugh Len says, you might think it's crazy. But it's not. Please pay attention, follow, watch with curiosity. You may think, how can someone heal others by healing themselves? You might say how a person, let's say this person is very wise, very intelligent, very knowledgeable, but how can he heal the mentally ill criminals? The ward for the mentally ill was a very dangerous place. Therapists quit within a month. Hospital staff often took sick leave. And they walked around the ward with their backs to the wall for fear of being attacked by patients. In short, it was not a pleasant place to work or visit. Dr. Hugh Len worked intensively on these patients, working on their files, and in 6 months all the patients were cured. That part of the hospital was closed. The state even wants to give an award to this man, but even with the award, he doesn't even feel the need to go to the award ceremony. Very humble. Because it really is God who does, who makes, who acts. So this is something marvelous. Now, according to Dr. Hugh Len's teacher, Simona, let's understand the philosophy first. Then what kind of cleaning do they do? How is it practiced? Let's focus on that. According to Simeona, at present our lives and choices. Then we begin to understand how a correction process can change our lives, our families, and our society. Look, this is really important. This approach makes several assumptions about our understanding of life and relationships. The first assumption is that the physical universe, for example, is the universe in which our thoughts are reflected and realized. Then secondly, our thoughts often reflect conscious or unconscious actions of ourselves and our ancestors. These memories dominate our minds. In other words, the negative values, memories, and their negative energies that are passed on to us from our ancestors. These are really detailed dimensions. There are practices done by the German psychologist Hellinger. There are family sequences. They are a completely different dimension. I'm not going to go into that now. I plan to give you that topic later under a different title. So the physical universe is the realization of our thoughts. And most of our thoughts are conscious and unconscious actions of ourselves and our ancestors, this lady says. And these memories dominate our minds. And then the third one, the soul, made up of the unconscious mind and the conscious mind, experiences others and other times through revived memories. The world inside us and the world outside us are the same, this lady says. Everything exists in our minds as thoughts. The world inside and outside us is the same. Look, these sentences are very important. It is the clarity of our thoughts that determines the clarity of our reality. For example, if my thoughts are full of anxiety, these thoughts create an anxious physical reality. If my thoughts are full of divine inspiration, it creates a loving physical reality. Another one is that it is 100% our responsibility how our physical universe is now. So this person gives the whole sense of responsibility to the individual, and he makes very good statements, and very rightly so. He says that it is 100% our responsibility to correct disease, pain, anger, anything other than happiness in our physical reality. So we will not look for blame outside. He rejects things like he did this, he did that, I became this, I became that. If it wasn't for this, it wouldn't have happened. He emphasizes on identifying the source of the problem and the source of the disease, and often we think that the problem is in the environment or in us. Oh, if I were smarter, calmer, more beautiful. We say, if only my master were more disciplined, if only my wife were happier, if only I had better teachers, if only politicians were more honest, if only my father was more understanding. The list goes on and on. If only this and that had happened, everything would have been rosy. But these things don't end. They are not dealt with either. The ancient Hawaiians believed that every wrongdoing is remembered within oneself, and the cause is reflected in every being and object present at the time of its occurrence. They thought that we suffer for the sins of our ancestors. According to this belief, the sins of the father affect the children. If a child is sick, it may be because the parents are fighting or not behaving well. Yes, that's true. The breakdown of social order can lead to natural disasters. If order, harmony, and love are disrupted in society, if arguments, anger, and rebellion increase, It leads to natural disasters because their negative energy affects the universe. It affects the whole society. We can multiply hundreds of examples of these. Harmony can only be achieved through confession and apologizing. Since the moment we were first created, every thought and memory is lost in our subconscious or in the child within us. This memory bank is an integral part of the self. Self-identity. My inner child, my consciousness made up of subconscious and the superconscious. So that's how this lady explains the layers of personality. Not only each one of us as an individual carries within us our own inner family. Every cell, molecule, and atom also has its own inner family. According to this tradition, all problems begin as a thought of a painful memory. But the problem is not the thought itself. The problem is the consequences of the memories in our unconscious mind. Conscious memories and unconscious memories want to be cleared. Millions of bits of information enter our system every second. We can consciously process only 20% of this information. The same was true for our ancestors. Scientific research has shown that our ancestors' memories is carried in our DNA. Our DNA carries the memories of our ancestors. This has been scientifically discovered. So our unconscious mind is loaded with tons of memories that we are not even aware of. We can say that our inner child carries these memories, that is, our subconscious mind. The body and the world live in the unconscious mind, and they are constantly being recreated with revived memories and rarely inspirations. Only when these memories are cleared, inspiration can find a way to reach our consciousness. In other words, the inspirations we will receive from God can only make its way to our consciousness if the negatives in our subconscious are emptied. That's why it is very important to empty negative memories. But who controls the revival of memories? When and how does inspiration reach us? From new studies and research on free will, we learn that we do not make our decisions at the level of consciousness. Isn't that interesting, friends? Our decisions is consciously given before our consciousness decides. It was demonstrated by Professor Benjamin Libet, a neuroscientist from the University of California, San Francisco. Libet connected a human to an EEG machine. The experiment showed that a brainwave activity, that it happens before one consciously intends something. And he suggests that the intention comes from the subconscious, and then it moves into conscious awareness. Your mind is not very aware of this. It creates a concept called ego identity and claims that it makes the decision. It seems that we are at the mercy of conscious or unconscious memories going back generations. No wonder we often feel so lost. Now, how does Ho'oponopono cleansing work? Let's elaborate on this. Our conscious mind tries with all its might to correct the effects of these memories, but without much success. Let's say you have a physical illness, or you feel fear, anxiety, anger, etc. You feel extreme emotions, or you have mental difficulties such as difficulty concentrating, not getting things done on time, or you have addictions such as eating disorder or drinking problems, or you suffer from obsessions or compulsions that disrupt your life. Do you know that these are the effects of painful memories carried by your inner child? Even if you don't know the exact nature of the problem, you can use this method to gain divine power. This lady says it can purify the energy of everything associated with this challenge. For example, let's say when your child makes a lot of noise or your spouse doesn't understand you on a sensitive issue, you feel anger rising up inside you. Then you go to work. How do you start? I love you, my anger. I love you, my inner child. I love you. You might wonder why you should say I love you to such an uncomfortable and useless feeling. We are often overly critical of ourselves And deep down, most of us believe that we are not worthy of love. The act of cleansing. Respect for the pain that has accumulated over generations. I want to draw our attention to this. You take full responsibility for the cleanup. However, there is no blame, no judgment, no condemnation, no labeling, no coercion. There is only love and acceptance. This sentence is an expression of your loving acceptance of the child within us, who has to carry the conditions and memories that led to the present outcome. This expression of love is truly ancestral. It opens the doors for the conscious and unconscious memories stored in our DNA to be purified and transformed into love. Second part, apologize. Please forgive me for all the reasons I know or don't know that have led to this anger. Often couples bring up in therapy many things that they have not been able to resolve up to that point. Listening to them during couple therapy helps them to perceive events and each other's feelings from a different perspective. But when we think about the pain and sadness that has been experienced during this process, cleaning seems to be a very effective way to move on after these painful interactions. This simple act of cleaning, completed by saying, "My anger and my inner child, thank you for letting me clean up." In reality, the reason why you say thank you is that when the energies associated with such thoughts and emotions are discharged, we feel more relaxed and more peaceful. The beautiful thing is that when we cleanse something in our own consciousness, we cleanse and purify everyone, everything, every object associated with this moment. As a result of this, inspiration starts coming in, and wonderful solutions arise spontaneously. The space is filled with love and intuition. We discover our life's purpose and begin to move towards becoming who we are meant to be in each moment. As a couple, we can do things beyond our dreams. It's not hard to see that cleaning ourselves heals the world. You can see the same thing in the words of the great 13th century thinker and poet Rumi. "Yesterday I was clever, I wanted to change the world. Today I am wise, I changed myself." The outer world is a reflection of our inner world. If we see separation in our world, it is because we carry separation within us. When we want to empty the separatist thoughts within us, the separation no longer needs to be reflected in our world. If your children, your spouse, your friends, or your community are experiencing separation in their lives, focus on your inner family. What ideas within you are pulling these reflections into your outer world? First, ask that the thought or thoughts that have brought this separation into your life to come forward for cleansing. And ask for forgiveness for keeping such a thought alive that is incompatible with the principle of unity and love. As you clear your own thoughts, observe and enjoy how this work affects the people in your life. To summarize what the Hawaiian natives advise us that stop thinking, because thinking is an attempt to understand the nature of things. Remember that our minds are not enough. Get in touch with the divine power within you. Develop a working relationship with your own divine side. Learn to ask for the cleansing of the faults in our thoughts, words, deeds, and actions. Allow the situation to unfold naturally, without effort or suffering. Keep yourself open to inspiration. Enjoy peace, balance, and love. Now I will dwell on the applications of this. I will explain in detail how we can do these things on our illnesses. I will dwell on them too. And now I just wanted to emphasize and explain the teachings. Please follow these teachings. Watch them with curiosity. Think about them. Apply them. Apply both the teachings and the practices. If you have not subscribed to my channel, please do so. And I ask you to pass them on to your loved ones, to all the people, to everyone whose name are in your phone book. See you soon. Have a good day. I will continue to show the applications of the teaching in video 5 and 6. I wish you a good day.